GoToMeeting.
This episode of The Young Turks is brought to you by GoToMeeting. Online meetings made easy.
I know karate. So Swedish police reports have been leaked on the Julian Assange case, rather ironic, or perhaps appropriate. And we find out what the charges are. Now, this is only the perspective of the women. Okay, so keep that in mind. He says that they are ludicrous, incredible lies. These women have not been put in front of a jury. They have not been cross-examined, so we don't even know if it's true, right? But what I want to do here for the sake of this conversation is, one, tell you what they are, but then also ask you guys and ask Anna and others, even if they were true, would it be a crime? Okay, so there are three basic charges. One is, as you've probably heard before, having sex, a condom breaks, okay? Now, she says she told him to stop. Again, upon cross-examination, we might find out that's not true at all, like that she did not communicate that to him. So in which case, he would be totally and utterly innocent, right? But let's assume for a second that she's telling the truth and that that's what a jury decides. So the first question I have is, what is that? Is that rape if a condom breaks in the middle and you don't stop? Is that some sort of lesser charge where he's been charged with sexual molestation? In other regards, we'll get to that. So I'll put that as kind of a middle ground, or is it no crime at all? What do you think, Anna?
The charge, I think, is a really difficult question. Do I think, if this is true, we're all assuming this is true, do I think it's wrong for him to continue after the condom breaks and the woman tells him to stop? Of course it's wrong. Do I think it's rape? That's such a serious charge. Do I think it's a lesser charge like molestation? Molestation is a pretty heavy charge as well. I don't know. I'm a little split when it comes to the charge. But when a woman says no, it's no. You got to stop. Okay, and the fact that the condom broke and she wanted you to stop, you absolutely have to stop. You should be charged with some crime for continuing.
So look, we're going to do a poll on this, and we want to hear what you guys think. And we're going to do a poll on all these charges, and we're going to put it up on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/TYTNation. You could vote on there. My take on it is, man, that is incredibly tough. Because, I mean, what if he's in mid-orgasm and she says no? Pull out right now.
You got to pull out.
Okay,
if
now,
she says stop, the condom broke, stop. You got to get off of her.
Right. So I agree with you. And it definitely goes under the category of not cool. Okay? So I'm with you. He's got to stop. But he's facing possibly 4 years in prison. Are you going to send someone to prison over that? I don't know, man. I think I'm going to vote no crime on that. JR, what do you think?
No.
No crime?
No, I mean, yeah, you can get involved with it and you can say, yeah, stop, whatever, and then if who knows if it happens or didn't happen, and then all these different questions end up coming into play. And if you sentence someone to prison, I mean, it's the epitome of, oh, what did she say and what did he say? He said, she said, and they were in the middle of the act already, so there was already consent. Now we're gonna say, and then she changed her mind because the condom broke. We don't know why she said she changed her mind or whatever it was. It's just,
right.
it kind of leads to so many different things.
Right, and we're talking hypothetical, assuming that she's telling the truth, right? When you get to the real world, she's going to have to come with great evidence.
Yeah, there's no evidence,
right.
And that's why, her allegations are just allegations at this point. How are you going to prove that the condom broke, you wanted to stop, and he didn't stop?
Right, and he's going to probably say, she didn't say that or effectively communicate that to me. That's going to be incredibly hard to prove, right? So that's point number one. Now, point number two, but you vote on that poll because we only do polls when we're genuinely interested in what you think. I really am curious what you guys think about this. So that's question number one, okay? Now, question number two is allegation number two, that he had already had sex with a different woman now, okay? And that at night, after they had had sex, while she was sleeping, he started having sex with her again, this time without a condom. And again, in the records, it's not clear in reality as to whether she had already amply said that she had no interest in having sex without a condom, if she had communicated that effectively to him. Again, it's a hard case to prove, etc. But again, for the sake of the hypothetical, and I'm doing this because I'm curious, even if all these charges are true, do you still think it's a crime, right?
Yes.
So in that case, is that rape, sexual molestation, or no crime at all?
I think that's rape. I think that's rape because if they previously had sex, it was consensual, but she said, look, let's have the sex, but you have to wear a condom. and they have the sex, that's fine. But later on, while she's sleeping, if he penetrates her without a condom, she didn't consent to that. That's rape.
Yeah. I think this one, if it's true, is the worst charge against him, right? She's sleeping, so clearly not consenting, right? And if she said earlier, I need you to use a condom, and he knows that and violates that, that again shows another charge where, hey, you can't do that. That's illegal. I would have less problems sending you to prison over that. If she didn't effectively communicate, and again, they need to be cross-examined, et cetera, that's a whole different situation. And some of these questions, when you see the poll questions, we've shortened a little bit for space. I'm giving you the full context here. All right, point number, JR, any dissension there, or what do you think?
No, I agree. But the thing is, it all goes back to how hard is it to prove that? Because after the first time, how often do people generally go to sleep and say, so by the way, in case you wake up in the middle of the night and start having sex with me, you should put a condom on. That's conversations never had,
Right, but she could have said in the first time around, he maybe wants to have sex without a condom, and she says, no way, I don't want you to do that, right? So that then later you can say, hey, she was very clear on that, right? All right, now point number 3, and this is a new one according to the new leaks, right, is that that same woman, the one that was in the middle of the night, she's having him stay over. He keeps coming back, okay? And so he's at her apartment. They've hooked up before. She has not objected before. I mean, in the sense of she didn't go to the police after that night of the sleep. And so this is going to hurt her case tremendously in the real world. She didn't go to the police immediately the morning and say, oh my God, he, raped me last night while I was sleeping, etc. No, she continues to have him at her apartment.
After he had had sex with her without a condom.
Absolutely. The only time they actually go to the police is when the two different women talk to one another and they go, oh my God, he had sex with you too? He had sex with me? Oh, that's ridiculous. And then even then, they don't go to the police and say, we've been raped. They don't go to the police and ask, hey, is there anything we should do? The police and the prosecutors talk them into charging rape. No, the whole thing. So don't get me wrong. The reality is totally political nonsense.
Right. I mean, that completely destroys their credibility, right?
Yeah.
The fact that she had him over several times after the fact that he had sex with her without a condom, that destroys her credibility. And then the fact that she communicated with the other woman and then they went to police and they were like, what should we do? And the police kind of encouraged them to go forward with, pressing charges. No, it destroys their credibility.
Right, and remember, originally Swedish prosecutors above these guys said, oh, these charges are ludicrous and threw them out. And then political people above them reinstituted the charges. So when we talk about conspiracy against Assange, it's not a smoke-filled room with the CIA necessarily, but it's governments saying, oh, wouldn't it be convenient if these were rape charges? So let's keep going along these lines, etc. And Naomi Wolf has written a brilliant article about how Sweden has a terrible record on prosecution of rape charges. And so this is totally out of the ordinary for them. And so it makes it even worse. Now, on to the third charge. I give all of that so you know that this might be total crap, because the last one is even more like, it feels like a smear. Like it feels like they're trying to, hurt his character, right? But it's already out there and everybody's talking about it. So she claims, so he comes over as he had just been coming over, and he takes his pants off and he starts rubbing up against her.
So this is the second woman where he had sex without the condom.
Right,
okay.
Exactly, okay? And so at that point, they say that's sexual molestation because she did not consent to have him do that. Whereas my guess is he'll say, well, look, we were having sex before, I thought it was foreplay, right? So
that's a little more, it's a little more difficult for her to make an argument or prove, okay? Because they've had sex several times, he comes over, so what happens? Like before they have sex, every single time she needs to like sit down and have him sign a contract like, okay, I consent to this under these terms. You know what I mean? They've had sex several times before, so if he comes over and he starts rubbing up against her, it's like nothing out of the ordinary for him because that's what he's used to.
Right, and this is what Michael Jackson used to, according to those charges, call rubber, right? He was doing rubber, which is, look, so that's why I'm doing the hypotheticals, because I find it interesting. Even if they're 100% right, is it a real case, right? Because
it would like
I on that one, so the charge possibility is sexual molestation or no crime at all. On that one, I vote no crime, because look, how does he? I mean, he has been invited by her, a woman he's had sex with already, to her house. They have already done flirtations. That doesn't mean he can go crazy, right? But before she even says no, he's like, what if he went to kiss her? Would he need signed consent on that?
Right.
No, that's crazy,
Yeah,
right?
it is crazy. No, and think about how absurd that is. So I'm in a relationship, right? So if my boyfriend came over and he started to seduce me or whatever, and I wasn't into it, can I consider that rape? You know, if
even
I wasn't in the mood, if I wasn't in the mood, all of a sudden it's like, I wasn't in the mood, so
No,
he
that's
molested me.
No, that's a guy trying to make a move.
Right.
Right? And it's different if you don't know him at all and he comes up to you and makes a move and starts rubbing up again.
That's different.
Right? But if you invited him over after you're already in a somewhat of a relationship, I'm voting no crime at all.
I agree with you on that one.
Right. So I think the one where he's sleeping is the biggest, where the woman is sleeping is the biggest problem. But look, my guess is upon cross-examination, this will be exceedingly hard to prove, and that there'll be holes all over these stories as we find out more and more